Hello and welcome to Bending Metal for Fun. In this video we're going to cover the basics of metal model building, mainly metal earth models, but the same goes for other brands also. So on the table here we've got three different models. We've got the unpainted, the painted, and the premium series model. The difference between these is the unpainted is just your plain silver, the painted actually has a paint job on it, and the premium series it can come in both ways, painted and unpainted. So what's different about the premium series model rather than these regular ones here is the size. So your premium series is going to be a little bit bigger, and that gives you more room for details and a little bit more room for errors. So on the front, it's going to tell you how many metal sheets this model actually contains in it. And we'll flip it over on the back. And on the back here, it's going to tell you the difficulty of your model, 1 through 10. And it's also going to tell you the number of pieces in your model. And right here, it's going to tell you the year that your model was made. This is pretty much all the important stuff that you can find on the cover and on the back of your packaging on these metal earth models. For this video, I'm going to be building the Mel truck, so we can just get rid of these other two models. I was just wanting to show you the different types of models that you can actually purchase through Metal Earth. So let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open and see what all comes inside. So as you see here, it comes with however many sheets of metal that you get with the model, and then some directions, either 1 or 2 or even sometimes 3 pages of directions. So this next part is going to be a little bit boring, but I promise you, if you listen to it, if you're new to this hobby, this is going to save you a lot of mistakes. So here's a 3D image of the model you're actually building. Right here is a small example of your tabs, the fold lines, and the insert holes on your pieces of metal. And on the right side right here, you're going to see some emblems that are going to help you identify what to do and where to do it on these 2D directions. It's going to help you understand the image a lot more. Make sure that you pay a lot of attention to these emblems throughout your build so you don't miss any of them. You have the engraved side, you have the non-engraved side. You have an attention point, just pay close attention if you see that. You have insert a tab and bend at 90 degrees, and then insert a tab and twist at 90 degrees. Then you have the tools that are required to build this metal model. These are snippers, they're just to cut the pieces out of your metal. The next tool you're going to need is tweezers. These are a must, and then some pliers also. These are going to help you out in certain spots where tweezers aren't that useful. So down here you see we've got 2 sheets of metal labeled A and B, and then on the side all the pieces are going to be numbered. Now some of these pieces are going to have a lot of duplicates in these metal sheets, so they're going to be color coded on there instead of putting the number multiple times in the directions here. They'll just be color coded and you'll have to find them on different sheets, but it's all the same piece. Let's flip these directions over, and I want to give you an example of the folding and bending difference. So if you have a piece that needs a flat fold, it's going to be shaded red, and that's going to tell you that the piece just needs folded flat and not bent at all. It's got fold lines, just fold it flat. So in these directions, when they ask you to bend something rather than folding it flat, you actually got to put a bend in it. It's going to be shaded yellow like this. The last thing I want to touch on before we actually build a piece of this model is something I see a lot of people making the mistake of doing, and it's using the wrong side of your metal, especially when you have a silver model that's not painted. I'll see people put these pieces on and it'll actually be the wrong side. The non-engraved side is showing when the engraved side should have been showing. So as you can see here on the back of these pieces, there's fold lines. Now just because it has lines on this side of the metal does not mean this side needs to be facing up. These lines are made for you to be able to bend this piece easier so you can manipulate it into the shape that you need. Now that we've covered all this boring stuff, let's go ahead and look at the directions, look at the first step, and see what we have to do to start building this model. It's going to tell you the number of the piece you need and the letter of the metal sheet that it comes off of. So then you flip your directions over, go to your metal sheets that's all numbered, find the sheet that it said and the number 1, which is the piece we need, And this little red line is going to take you over to the actual piece you need, right here. And you can go ahead and cut it out with your nippers. These pieces are held in by little triangle connectors, so make sure those are what you're cutting rather than the tabs that you use to actually connect the pieces together. You don't want to cut them off. Now you want to make sure that you've got a good hold on your piece when you're making your final snip, because if you don't, you could make that final snip and it'll go flying across the room, into the void, gone forever. I've had this happen multiple times, so make sure you're holding that when you do your last cut. So right here you can see on the step that we're on that it's shaded red, so that means we're going to have a flat fold. There ain't going to be no bend. And also it has an NE symbol there, so that's non-engraved, and it is talking about the gray shaded part on that image. That's the NE, the non-engraved side. So when you set your piece up to match that, you want your non-engraved side to be facing you and the fold going away from you. So right here you're going to see me put my tweezers on the right side of the fold line, and then I'm going to take my finger and just push on that other side of the piece to fold it away from me, and it should fold perfectly on that fold line. And we're going to fold this at a 90 degree. I always flip it over and double check my angle, make sure it's a 90 degree, and if it's a 90, you're good. Now on our next piece, it's got the engraved emblem, so that means your painted or engraved side needs to be facing up. So take your piece, match it up with the picture, and then we're going to take the first piece that we made, make sure it's matched up with the picture, and you see the gray on the first piece that we made. That means the unengraved side is going to be facing us. And on the second piece that we just cut out, it's facing up. So just line these pieces up together, match the picture, then go ahead and insert your tabs. Once your tabs are inserted, you're going to want to grab them with your tweezers, or you can use your pliers. Make a fold on it, because that's what the picture's asking. There is a blue circle in the picture, so we're going to do a fold. We're not doing a twist. So we're going to make a 90 degree fold down where the paint is facing up. A lot of the times I like to use my tweezers or pliers to start the bend of the 90 degree fold, and then I'll take my thumbnail and push the tab the rest of the way down, and this will prevent you from scratching the paint off these metal tabs. Now that gave us a good solid connection on this piece. It's not wiggling or anything, it's nice and tight. Now you always want to look ahead on your directions, so for this next step we're going to look at what piece we need. We're going to see that the engraved side is going to be facing towards us. We're going to look at the part number, and we're going to see how they connect. So they got green triangles here. That means you're going to put the tabs in, and instead of a 90 degree fold, you're going to give them a 90 degree twist this time. Now for this next piece, you actually don't need to bend or fold anything. It just as is, as you cut it out of the metal sheet, we're just going to connect the first piece onto this second piece. What we're going to do is we're just going to line them up, match the image in the directions here. We're going to take that first piece, insert it into the second piece, then we're going to make a nice tight 90 degree twist on both of these tabs. Now when you twist these tabs, you want to make sure that these two pieces are fully connected. So you want to make sure that your piece is all the way pressed up against that other piece, or you're going to have a gap in between your two pieces here. This means every single time you're connecting two pieces together, you want to make sure those tabs are fully seated before you make a twist or a bend. Now as you can see, these two pieces came together really nicely. They're not wobbly, they're not bent at all. It's a real good connection and it's sturdy. Now this is why if you're able, you want to use these 90 degree twists rather than bends, because the twists make such a better connection, your pieces stay together a lot better. On this next step we have here, we're going to be making the seat for this mail truck. And as you can see, it's red, so that means we're going to have straight folds. We're not going to have any bends. There is blue circles, so that means the tabs are going to be bent 90 degree. And here I'm just looking ahead on the directions, so I don't do something that's going to screw me in the next couple steps. So when you have pieces like this chair here that has multiple folds in different directions, you need to take a look at it and see what folds you need to make first, and then what folds you need to make second. For this chair here, I need to fold the back of the chair first, but The sides of the chair that fold in can give me reference to how the back folds and which angles to have on the back of the chair. After looking at the sides of the chair for reference, I fold the back, I get it as close as what I can get to the sides, and then I'm going to take them sides and fold them in towards the back of the chair. And if your angle on the back of the chair is correct, your tabs on the back of that chair should go right in to the tab slots on the side of the chair. Here's another tip for you. Instead of putting my tweezers on the back of this chair, you can see that back is actually a lot larger of a piece on this side of the fold line rather than the side of the chair. It's a lot narrower of a piece. So rather than that, I'll put my tweezers on the narrower piece and use my finger to fold the back of the chair. This prevents the smaller narrow piece from bending, because a lot of the times when you got a big piece like that and you try to fold it with your tweezers and nothing's holding that narrower piece, it's going to bend up as you fold that larger piece down. Now we finished making our folds on all the tabs that we haven't folded down yet. I'm going to start the fold with my tweezers, and then I'm going to finish it with my thumbnail. Then lastly, we're going to fold the headrest down, and that's going to finish it up for this seat. Now for this next step, this includes attaching this little handrail onto this seat. Now this piece is going to be very small, so you got to be delicate with pieces like this. The best way that I've found to keep pieces like this from getting bent is to actually put your pliers on the middle of the piece rather than the tab, and fold the tab over with your fingernails. For this first demonstration here, I'm going to use my pliers to fold the tab, and it actually works pretty good, but there's a little bend in the piece there that you can see. So then I take my pliers on the other side of the piece, and I use my pliers on the middle of the piece and bend the tab over with my fingernail, and it works a little bit better. So here I take the piece and I try to insert the tabs in the holes on the seat, and the tabs actually don't line up. The tabs are a little bit too far apart to make it into the holes. So what I end up doing here is I take the piece back out, I take the tabs and I fold them in towards each other, just angle them in towards each other, and a lot of times that's going to give you enough for them tabs to be able to make it into the holes. So this next step here, the piece that I'm using is completely silver. It don't have no paint on it. So this is a good time and place to show you how easily it is to get these silver pieces upside down. So right here I'm showing you the back of the piece. This actually just has a dotted line on it. There is no fold line. Now here's the front of the piece. It's actually got a straight fold line. You can see it engraved down in there. So the front of the piece is going to have the fold line. The back of the piece is just going to have the dots in a line. So in this part, when I fold this, you see where I'm putting my pliers. I'm putting them on the outside piece. I'm not putting them on that inside piece, because your outside piece is not structurally sound like your inside piece. It's a solid piece of metal on the inside. The outside piece here has a bunch of holes in it. So if I was to put my pliers on the inside piece and try to push that outside piece down, it's actually going to bend that outside piece, because it's not a flat, structurally sound piece. It's got a bunch of holes in it and it's easier to bend. So when you come across a piece like this, put your pliers on the less structurally sound piece and use them to fold it. So then pliers keep that piece straight and from bending. The next step has you bending these tabs in the middle of this piece upward. So what you want to do is you want to take something with just a little nose, like my precision tweezers here, and you just want to push them tabs up to where you can get your tweezers on them. If you push the tabs up enough to where you can get the tweezers on them from the other side, then you can finish your bend in those tabs to face them up. In this next step, we're just folding boxes up. These pieces are silver, just like the last piece we done, so just be careful that you're folding the right side up. For this next step, we're just putting these boxes on this rack. So all we gotta do is put these boxes on top of the rack, make sure the tabs are inserted through the bottom of the box, and just make a nice tight twist on them tabs. So after you get your boxes connected onto your rack here, that finishes it up for this piece. Our next step, we're actually going to take the rack and the seat, and we're going to connect them to the first piece that we built. When you're connecting all these pieces together, just remember to make sure those tabs are fully engaged and your pieces are fully connected and there's no gaps before you make these twists on these tabs. So there's one more tip that I want to cover, and it's actually bending a piece. Rather than just folding flat, this piece actually needs bent. So this is the hubcap, and we're gonna go ahead and bend this piece and give you an example of what to do to bend a piece of this metal. So this first example, I'm just gonna use my tweezers to bend this metal. As you can see, I put them on the end here, and I kind of just pull that around towards the center of the hubcap there, and it's going to kind of fold it and bend it up. So I'm just putting my tweezers on the end piece where the tab or the tab hole is, and I'm pulling it around to meet up on the other side of the hubcap. And it's going to kind of give that metal just the right bend that it needs. Surprisingly, you just grab a hold of that tip and pull it around, and it's going to bend that metal up pretty nicely for you. Then you can just take your fingers, make slight adjustments, or take your tweezers here and bend it up a little bit more or a little bit less, whatever you need. You just want that evenly bent around, as even as you can get it with your tweezers and your fingers. Now where these two pieces meet, there is a female hole and a tab, and the directions actually say to pull that tab down through the female hole towards the center of the hubcap. But if you do that, your tab is going to be visible. So in my opinion, I'm going to push it up through the hubcap. That way when I make my fold on the tab, it's not going to be visible on the model. If you would pull it down through, you're going to be able to see it at the end result, but if you push it up through and make your fold, it's going to be hidden. So after you get your tab connected, you can kind of make some minor adjustments with your tweezers and your fingers to kind of round this hubcap out a little bit more and get it looking how you want it to. Now I'm going to make one more hubcap for you guys, and the reason I'm doing this, I'm going to show you what the right tool can do for you. So the last hubcap I made with just tweezers, this one I'm actually making with a rounding tool. So I'm taking the hubcap and rounding it against this step mandrel, which you could use a marker, anything laying around the house you could use. You don't have to have this, but this is the difference that the right tool can make in the outcome of your piece. Now look how much more round and smooth the rounding is on this from just using a tool rather than just tweezers. So here's the second one that I made. It looks really nice and round. The first one that I made, it don't look bad, but it definitely has some more rough edges on it than being as round as the second one that I used the step mandrel in. So I wanted to make both of these for you guys to show you that the right tool can make a big difference in the outcome of your pieces. So just keep that in mind. That is about going to wrap us up on this beginner's guide on metal model building. On the right side of your screen, you're going to have some videos pop up that are metal model related. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, happy building.